Hey, yo, what up, fans of the fucking sport? What up, it's Lamech with Salah Sports TV back at ya. But, this ain't gonna be a long one, because, I just want to touch on something. I just want to ask some questions. Like, Canelo is the face of boxing, right? Canelo's the face of boxing. There have been different faces of boxing over time, right? And one thing I noticed about Canelo fans, whenever you criticize them, they, like children, they go back to, what about Floyd? What about Floyd? Well, a lot of us were saying the same thing about Floyd. Right? A lot of us were saying the same thing. Like, you can't use Floyd against us like that. Like, some of us are Floyd fans. Even I consider myself a fan of Floyd Mayweather, the fighter, but that still don't mean I'm not going to criticize him. I didn't agree with a lot of shit that he did. But, that thing about Floyd, though. One thing about Floyd, he was a competitor. A real competitor. A real one. That means if he ever heard an inkling that he lost a fight, he gonna give you a rematch. And these are fights that he fucking won. Right? These are fights, he won every fight. So these are fights that he won. If he hear whispers like, oh, they saying that so-and-so Castile won. They saying that Maidana beat you. Like, if he hears that, he's giving you a rematch. Big fucking difference. Big difference. So let's stop the comparison, okay? There's no comparison between those two. None. And they fought before. Floyd up in age fought a young Canelo, right? And I don't want to hear, oh, he was young. They knew he was young when he was, they were talking all that shit. De La Hoya and them, they were talking all that shit. And then when he lost, oh, he was young, he's a baby, now he's a toddler. Anyway, let's do this. Doesn't the face of boxing have responsibility? Right? The face of boxing has a responsibility to, what's the responsibility? To fight the best. Right? I don't expect him to go to run a gauntlet. Right? I don't expect Canelo to run a gauntlet. I don't expect Canelo to fight Bivol and fight Benavidez and fight Andrade. And I don't expect that. That would be a gauntlet. That's not fair. But you can fight one of those guys. You went up there and got your ass whooped against Bivol. Like, where's your pride? You don't want to fight him again? You said the weight was too much. Canelo said the weight was it was too much weight. Even though he beat Kovalev up there with no problem. He didn't complain about the weight when he was fighting Kovalev. When Kovalev out there fighting him, I'm going to tell you how fraudulent this motherfucker is, man. Crusher Kovalev fought Canelo the way Keith Thurman says he's going to fight Clarissa Shields. Fuck your feelings. Tell me where I'm lying. Spot the lie. Kovalev fought Canelo like a bitch. Kovalev fought Canelo like Canelo was the bitch. Now, yeah, it did come back to haunt him in the 11th round, but all he did was throw jabs. And it wasn't even like that Kovalev jab. It was like a pawing jab. All he did was paw the jab all night. All night. Did you hear Canelo complain about the weight then? This guy's shameless, man. This guy's shameless. Like, as the face of boxing, he's dragging the sport down. Boxing has never been at such a low point as it is now. Crawford and Spence, they tried to bring it up. But even that, Spence, he didn't hold up his end of the bargain. So it was a trash fight. I can't say it was a trash fight. I can't even say that. Because Terrence Crawford put on such a performance that it wasn't a trash. It was entertaining, but it was entertaining in probably the most gruesome way. The most brutal, gruesome way. And now they talking about going into another fight. Terrence Crawford's gonna end that man's career. Because he told everybody that he don't want that fight no more. So if you're gonna make him fight him again, I honestly feel sorry for Errol Spence. Terrence Crawford is not a nice guy. He told you he didn't want this fight. You making him fight him again? Stand by. Stand the fuck by. Anyway, as far as Canelo, I kind of agree with Andrade. He should be stripped. If he doesn't fight the winner of Andrade and Benavidez, he should be stripped. He had no problem fighting the mandatory when it was John Ryder. He had no problem fighting the mandatory when it was Avni Yildirim. He got no problem with certain mandatories. And you can't tell me those are big money fights. They're not. Those are not big money fights. See, he's not even interested in the money no more. He's not even interested in the money no more. He could have made big money fighting Triple G sooner than he did in that third fight. Triple G wanted it right back. They could have made the money, but no, he didn't want that work. He wanted to age that man out and fight him at 40. These are facts. These are facts. He got no problem fighting certain mandatories. But if it's a Benavidez, a Andrade, back in the day it was Charlo. Back in the day it was Charlo, and he moved up. And back then, and look, I'm not a Jamal Charlo fan. Never have been. I've never been a Jamal Charlo fan. I wanted Canelo to beat his ass. See, here's the difference with me and a lot of you Canelo cocksuckers. Back then, 4 or 5 years ago, when Charlo was kind of respected still, I didn't like him. And while I wasn't necessarily a Canelo fan, I did respect Canelo. I had a lot of respect. I had a lot more respect for Canelo about 4 or 5 years ago, right? So I'm like where a lot of you guys are. But I'm like, it don't matter if I respect you. I want you to fight this motherfucker. And it seemed like you moving funny. So when I saw that, I'm like, wait a minute. Nah, you moving funny, bro. I don't support that shit. But y'all get behind boxers. Y'all don't get behind the sport. Y'all get behind the guys. Pause. That's a pause for me, but that's y'all lifestyle. That's your lifestyle. Y'all get behind men and become fans of the man. I'm a fan of the sport. That ain't never gonna change. And right now, Terrence Crawford is off the clock. Terrence Crawford was on the clock because it seemed like he didn't want to. It's like, who do you want to fight? You know? I didn't understand why, maybe he was just shit talking, right? So I ain't gonna go there. But I was about to say, I don't understand why he said, I don't want to fight Jamel Charlo no more because he looked like shit again. Like, nah, I didn't understand that. But maybe he was just shit talking, so I ain't, whatever. But he's going into an Errol Spence rematch, so he got something to do. Fine, that's cool. I wouldn't mind him taking that Tim Tszyu fight. Very dangerous fight for him. Very, 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 very dangerous fight. Can he beat Tim Tszyu? Obviously, yes. He can take Tim Tszyu apart. He start hitting on Tim Tszyu he gonna slow down with all that pressure. Once he start getting countered, Tim Tszyu gonna slow down with the pressure. But Crawford's probably looking at Tim Tszyu like, man, that's a kid, man. I don't want to destroy him. Same thing with Boots. But bro, it's the hurt business. It's the hurt business. It's the hurt business. But as for Canelo, why you not fighting that Mexikiller? Oh, you don't know who the Mexikiller is? That's Dmitri Bivol. That's Dmitri. It's like you avoiding all the challenges now, right? And shout out to CJ Goodfella, man. He put out some early bird news talking about Jamal Charlo is next, and then after that, Jaime Munguia. Bro, if this motherfucker fights Jaime Munguia, he might as well retire after that. Like, Jaime Munguia ain't fought nobody. That's like his claim to fame. So when you say you fought nobody, man, you say that to Andrade. You can't fight Jaime Munguia. You call Andrade a horrible fighter, but then say he in a 50-50 fight with Benavidez. Then you can't fight Munguia. I don't see how you fight Jamal Charlo after we just watched the Jamal Charlo fight. The one thing I will say about the Munguia fight, it is a money fight, but everybody knows what's going to happen. We know what's going to happen. Bivol got nobody to fight but this motherfucker. He act like right after that Bivol fight, he tried to act like I want the rematch, and I feel like I won. He wanted the decision in that fight. This is how entitled that moment. He knew he lost that fight, but what he got up there and said on the microphone is he thought he won the fight. Ain't no way in hell that he thought he won that fight. Ain't a shot in hell that he thought he won that fight. Sorry, it ain't. Prediction. We're going to get that announcement of his next two fights before Benavidez and Andrade fight. And what does that mean? That means neither one of them will be next. Because he won't know who the winner is. We're going to get a decision in a couple weeks, an announcement that who he's going to fight. And I predict that it won't be Benavidez and it won't be Andrade. I think he's going to finish this PBC deal and really duck those guys, which is, to me, that's unbelievable, man. Just the sheer blatancy. Is blatancy a word? Just the amount of I mean, this guy really don't give a fuck. He don't. So I don't think history, he thinks it's all fun, he thinks it's all gravy now, but history was not going to remember this guy kindly. He won't be remembered like James Toney and Roy Jones, and there ain't no way. He can't, because he didn't move that way. Roy Jones wasn't the face of boxing before. Roy Jones wasn't the face of boxing before. And I like Roy, but personally, I'm more of a James Toney guy. I always like James Toney. James Toney is one of my favorite fighters. Roy, I understand, I get it. He was a freak of nature. But as far as he will not, like Canelo, he won't be remembered like that. He won't be remembered like Hagler. He won't. Too much cherry picking, too many rehydration clauses. Those guys just fought. Those guys just competed. And not only that, shit. Bruh. Chasing greatness for Canelo. Greatness. Like, I think the word greatness gets used far too often. Follow me. The only fight that delivers greatness to Canelo is Dmitri Bivol. That's it. Now people probably saying, well, wait a minute, Lamech, what about Benavidez? What if he fight Benavidez? Look, if he fight Benavidez and Andrade, that's just, to me, that's just what you're supposed to do. That's like me as a dad, right? That's like somebody give me a pat on the back for doing what the fuck I'm supposed to do as a dad, for taking care of my kids and shit. Right? Fighting Benavidez and Andrade, that's just doing what you're supposed to do. Fighting one of those guys. Should have fought both of them by now, but fight one of them. Fight the winner. Hell, maybe fight the loser. And I'm going to talk about that too. Maybe in another video, maybe in this one. I got to get to a workout. But fight, like him fighting Benavidez, Andrade, those guys in your weight class. Those are like Mandos. That ain't chasing great. You don't chase greatness by fighting the mandatory. Oh, I don't get credit. I don't get credit. I will never get credit. Nah. You fought Jermell Charlo, a guy from 154. How much credit do you want? It doesn't work that way, little guy. Little man, it don't work like that. And I can call him little man. But yeah, those fights, Benavidez, Andrade, those aren't chasing greatness fights. They not. Fight the guy that whipped your ass and beat him. I'm gonna be the first one to give you credit. Why? Because I'm a fan of the fucking sport. Just cause I ain't like how he move, I always leave room for a motherfucker to get back. That's how the Most High is with us. Not to take it too far out of the realm, but like the Most High, he's always gonna leave a way for repentance, right? So I don't cancel people. I move according to how they move and judge accordingly. And I advise you to do the same. But hey, I ain't gonna get too philosophical because we could take it there. You know, but real quick, I heard Demetrius Andrade say something. See, in boxing, you gotta hear the quick little comments. And it turned my stomach when I heard him say it. I didn't like it. I did not like it one bit. And I like Demetrius Andrade. And maybe he just keeping it, he's kind of a whimsical guy, right? He's not your typical boxer. He don't have a typical boxer demeanor. He seems very comfortable in his own skin, right? So maybe it's nothing, right? Maybe it's nothing. Maybe it's everything. But I didn't like in the interview, I believe it was Fight Hype interview. Shout out to Fight Hype. But I believe it was Fight Hype interview where he said they were asking him about Canelo. And he's going on and he's basically saying fuck Canelo and, you know, he didn't like what he said to him and all that. And, you know, I get it, right? They don't like each other. But then he goes on to say, well, Canelo should fight the winner or the loser of this fight. I didn't like that. I didn't like him mentioning the loser. See? Don't even allude to losing before you fight. Don't even allude to that shit. Be the winner. Be the winner in your mind. You have to. Don't consider losing. Don't even consider it. What do I know? Shout out to Demetrius Andrade, man. Shout out to David Benavidez. Two warriors going into a big fight. And hopefully one of these guys, like, let's just get Canelo. Let him do his thing. Like, we do need those belts, though. Because he's, like, really holding things up at this point. He's holding shit up. He's really holding shit up at this point. So, like, got to get those belts, man. So that the sport can, like, pick up where we left off. Let him have his last little cherry picks and get him the fuck out of here. Right? But that's all I got, man. If you like the video, shit, hook off on the like button one time. Peace.